What's going on, everybody? In today's video, we're setting up this bass because I got a gig coming up that I want it to be set up for. Other gigs, I don't care as much, but this gig, I want it to be set up for. I gotta fly out to it, so this thing's gotta be in tip-top condition. This is a Fender Aerodyne. I find that this bass, not only does it have the matching headstock, which I'm a sucker for, but playability-wise, it's basically like this, as close to this bass as I've found thus far. This bass does not sound as amazing, but almost. The bass is in tune, right? I have a tuner down here. The bass is in tune, but that's not in tune. It's flat. So, you want the neck and the bass to be in tune with itself, so that it's not just in tune down here, but it's also in tune up here. How do you set up the bass? The bass needs some work. It's been a while since I've done it. There's no specific time when to do it, once a year, twice a year, when the weather changes type of thing, or just when you feel like it. What do you need to do to set it up? You need to adjust the bridge, which is going to need some tools like these Allen keys, Allen wrenches, and also moving the saddles front and back, which is going to help with getting this in tune, which on this bass is just a Phillips screwdriver. Also, you may need to adjust the truss rod, which on this bass is at the top of the headstock, and that would be another Allen wrench, which I have in here. And you're going to need a tuner, which my tuner is down on the floor. You're not going to see it. The first thing that I do is get the bass in tune, which it is. And then I like to go to the 12th fret, and I can see that it's flat. D string's not flat, A string's flat, E string's not flat. Okay, so this is where we start moving the saddle. So when I'm loosening the saddle right here, I'm also making sure that the screw doesn't adjust on me, like come out. So I'm also pushing it in, like applying pressure, and it'll move just slightly. You just want to make sure that it doesn't start slipping out on you. Alright, we're close. Alright, so we were flat, and I'm loosening here. If we were sharp, I would tighten. I've been doing, this is so easy to do. I've been doing this since, basically since I've been playing the bass. Because it didn't make sense to me. You know, I brought my bass in a couple of times to get set up or whatever to a luthier, you know, a repair person. It costs whatever it costs, 75 bucks, 100 bucks, whatever. I don't even know what it costs nowadays. Then I just started messing with it myself, and it's like, this is not that hard. This is really simple. This is super simple. There's no reason to pay anybody to do this, in my opinion. Unless you really got the money like that, don't care, or, you know, whatever. There's no reason. It's really not that hard. And as a bass player, you should know how to do it anyways. We're not there yet. You hear how it just, I had to push it back in? Because when I was loosening it, it wasn't moving it. It was just the screw. It was like the screw was coming out. And there you go. There we go. Look at that. Now we're good. And then what I'll do is I'll check some other notes. I'll check A. I'll check C. And these are a little bit flat. Check D. D's good. But C, A is a little bit flat. And I'll adjust it. I'll still adjust it. A little bit. I'll check. This is good. This is good now. Yeah, see? Before it was flat. Like you can hear it just with your ear. It was flat. Now we're good. Okay, so that's great. Next string. This D is in tune, but again, you saw I check other notes. So here's E. This is fine. F, but even this is saying it's fine, so that string's fine. A, this was the other string that was flat. Yeah, this is a slightly, not as much as the G string. The G string was pretty off. This C is very flat. Oh yeah, you can hear that. That's super. That's pretty out. Okay, so we're gonna adjust. We're flat, so I'm loosening, which is taking the saddle and moving it closer, right? Adjusting it. If I were tightening it, it would move it further back. All right, so we made the adjustment. We retuned the string, and it looks like I over-adjusted because now A is sharp. Oh yeah, I over-adjusted. So it didn't need as much movement. That G string needed a lot. So I'm gonna tighten now. All right. That's in. It's like it's in and then it drops flat a little bit. Same. So I'm gonna just move a little bit. Now we're good. Now we're good. Good to go. Great. Sounds great. Sounds way better. Way, 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 way better. Alright, last string, E. This one was fine also. Let's see. No, it's not fine. This G is way flat. The A is way flat. So we're gonna move it. Alright, let's just see where we're at with that. Closer. It's still a little bit flat. Little bit flat. But already it sounds a lot more in tune. But we want to get it, so here we go. There we go. Sounds great. That's what I'm talking about. That's what it's got to sound like. Fully in tune with itself. Okay, so that's that. So to me, that's the main part of why I would do this. The next part of setting up the bass is something that I'll do just as I'm playing it and as I feel. If I feel like, here's how I think of it. If I start playing, and I feel like the strings are too high here. You know what? The strings are a little bit too high here. Then I'll adjust the truss rod. If I feel like the strings are too high here, I'll raise or lower the saddles, which you could do with one of these Allen keys. And I know that like professionally or properly, people do the whole test with the, right, they do this thing, they use a capo, right, and they put it on the first fret, and then they press down the 12th fret or the 13th fret, and then they tap to see, or they have, you know, a credit card or a business card or something like that. And there's actually a lot. This is you know, my ID. There's actually a lot of movement, like a lot of movement when I put this. The ID is thinner than the credit card by a little bit. And there's a lot of movement. But when I'm playing, the action is on the higher side of what I would play. To me, for what I prefer. It's on the higher side. But it's not bad to me. Again, I do it by feel. I don't do it by, you know, using the measuring cards and they're over here and they're doing this kind of thing. I don't do that. I don't care. I care about how it feels, so I'm going to play it. If I feel like, you know what, I need to adjust it, then I need to adjust it. If I'm playing and all of a sudden there's all kinds of dead spots all where there shouldn't be. I mean, up here, again, I know I have some I know where the dead spots on this bass are. It's basically those 3 notes. If they're somewhere else, if it starts buzzing like crazy somewhere else, then I'll know I need to raise the truss rod. I need to raise it. And same here, if I feel like, you know what, this feels really high, I'll raise or lower the saddles. But this is fine. And more importantly, we are so in tune now. That's like, bass sounds great. Yeah, I mean, if anything, I might lower it. If anything, I might lower it. It's a little bit high, but it's really not that bad. It's really not that bad. So I might leave it, and that's it. But if I thought it was too high, I would lower it. And in terms of truss rods and adjusting the truss rod, that's like the biggest thing that people are scared about. And I used to be also. But before I had this bass, I had that one. I've had this bass for 20 years. 20 years? Yeah, damn. I've had this bass for 20 years. I'm not afraid to just crank that thing. Just crank the truss rod. We're talking, you know, they say, oh, you just want to do like, you know, an 1/8 of a turn every hour or something crazy like that. No. No. I've never had a problem with truss rods. Ever. Don't be scared of them. Just go in there and just crank it. Just crank it. See what happens. That's how I figured it out. It's really not that big a deal. And just by yourself, you'll be able to make your bass play so much better. Like butter. So that's it. That's how I set up my bass. And I didn't need to adjust the truss rod, so sorry that's not in the video. But it would be the same exact process. I would just, if I felt like I needed to lower it, I would just lower it a little bit, tune up the bass. You know, usually it needs to settle a little bit. I'll tune it, I'll play it, I'll tune it, I'll play it, I'll tune it. And, you know, within 10 minutes, it's usually good. They say it lasts way longer or whatever, but that's just not been my experience. Usually, it does take a little bit of time, but it's really not that long. And again, if I start playing it and I went too far, if things are starting to buzz or clack or whatever, I'm not afraid of a little bit of clack. Like if you're a rock bass player, listen to Billy Sheehan. That guy's not afraid of some clack at all. You shouldn't be afraid of it. And I'm not strictly a rock bass player. I'm playing a lot of pop and a lot of like funk grooves, different things like that. I'm playing rock also on this specific gig that I wanted to set the bass up for, but that's fine. There you go. Your bass is set up.